Diggity. It's week 2, ladies and gentlemen. We have survived week 1, and we are going to be breaking down here the must-start kickers for your fantasy football teams going into week 2. Week 1 was exhilarating. We saw some of the GOATs come back and show their presence. The Matt Gays, the Tyler Basses, but we also saw some of the greats fall. So far, their empire collapsed, and that is a Nick Folk for the New England Patriots. Man, he was disappointing. He was disappointing for my personal leagues. But guys, before we go forward and jump into those must-starts, if you are not already a part of the Catch Fam, make sure to go ahead and join the Catch Fam. Hit the subscribe button. Come on and join the community. Join the Discord as well. It's a great way to get in there, interacting with not only Johnny Boy and myself, but also the rest of the Catch Fam. It's a great time. Make sure to hit that like button as well. If you enjoy this video, it's always greatly appreciated. And also get in there in the comments below so we can talk about what kicker to start for this week for your team. But in any case, let's get into it. Let's get into the must-start kickers. Number 1, the man, the myth, the legend, Chris BOSWELL, the man who took down the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, sure, he had a field goal doink off the outpost right there, and it made a big sound. But guess what? He still came back, and he still beat the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow at the end of the game. And listen, he had 13 fantasy points in your leagues against the Cincinnati Bengals. He outdueled Evan Money Mac McPherson. He looked fantastic, and he was great last year too. He was one of the top streaming kickers on a weekly basis last season, and he looked as advertised in week 1. The Steelers went to him early, and often Mitchell Trubisky proved to be as competent as we thought he was going to be, just similar to a Ben Roethlisberger. But this offense still really did need that kicker position. Najee Harris is getting hurt too a little bit as well, so even more of a focus is probably going to be on the kicker to finish off those drives, right? And the Steelers are a gritty football team, man. It is defense, and it is getting points when you can, guys. And like I said, he had the 13 points, but at the end of the day, he had a 50-yarder and a 40-yarder, right? That is another great thing about Chris BOSWELL, is he can do it from deep as well. And they're going up against the New England Patriots, who look to be a really struggling team right now. Don't want to overreact too much from week 1, but that's how it looks. And Jason Sanders for the Miami Dolphins, who just played the Patriots, had a great game as well and was one of the top kickers in week 1. So I really love to see Chris BOSWELL carry that performance from week 1 onward and destroy the New England Patriots. Up next, we're going with the guy who's got a chiseled beard and a great little haircut. We're talking about Greg Joseph, 28 years old, 6 feet tall, 206 pounds. Greg Joseph for the Minnesota Vikings. This team with the Vikings, they are looking good. Justin Jefferson, holy crap, I want any piece of an offense attached to him, and that's exactly what Greg Joseph is going to be able to do, man. He hit it from deep. He hit a 50-yard banger, and he got 3 field goals against the Green Bay Packers, converting for 13 fantasy points. He looked absolutely electric, and they were draining clock towards the end, so he could have gotten even more points if they gave him the chance. Well, guess what? Going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, this is going to be a fun one. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, man, the Philadelphia Eagles, I think they're going to be in for some fun fantasy games all season long. And I expect for the Eagles with Elliott and the Vikings with Joseph to really duel it out in this game. And I think the Vikings are going to get the win. But I also think Greg Joseph is going to be a big reason for that. And I think Joseph is going to have a ton of opportunity for not only those extra point attempts off of the big Justin Jefferson touchdowns, but also he's going to be needed for those 40 to 50 yarders all day long. And I want Greg Joseph in my lineup. Number 3. The Bass Man himself, Tyler Bass for the Buffalo Bills. This man spends his time on the boats of the great waters of Buffalo, hunting for fish all around the day and night hours. And then when he comes down to the game, he says, guess what? This leg is going to kick that ball through the uprights if I've got anything to say about it. He had 4 attempts, 4 made field goals, and he looked solid. Hit one from the 40 to 49 range as well. I really liked what I saw out of Tyler Bass. Guys, I know maybe in your head you were thinking, where is the Bass man in your week 1 video? I understand it, but I was trying to give some love to some of the young bucks coming up, some of the guys who weren't necessarily a part of the videos on a weekly basis last season. But Tyler Bass showed to Steven Scott, he said, listen, Steven, I need to be in your videos. And so I'm putting him in against the Tennessee Titans because I think he is going to absolutely shine in this game against the Titans. He had 8 points against the Rams, so just under that 10-point threshold that we'd love to see. But I do think he is going to get another great opportunity against the Titans here, and I would absolutely plug him in your rosters, guys. This is a guy who's going to be very consistent all season long. And what we saw last year is maybe he didn't have 20-point games like a Nick Folk did on sometimes, but what he was super consistent. Matt Gay and Tyler Bass would miss their consistencies with those offenses of the Buffalo Bills and the Rams. And I think that's what you need here, because speaking for someone who has experienced a kicker down week like Nick Folk just gave last week, you don't want those in your lineups. So go ahead and plug Tyler Bass in and don't think twice about it. Number 4, the greatest of all time, Justin Tucker for the Baltimore Ravens, the kicker from Texas, 10-year veteran. Guess what, guys? He didn't have the most fantastic game week 1, but with Justin Tucker, you know he's going to get it done for you. And going up against the Miami Dolphins, the difference is in the matchup. That Jets game, the Ravens really just had it in control all game long. I really think this Miami Dolphins team is going to push them to the limit, though, because that Ravens offense, they looked a little bit squeamish, a little bit sketchy, in my opinion, outside of that one big Rashad Bateman touchdown. I think that this Ravens offense is going to really, really rely on a kicker here, and that is going to be my man Justin Tucker. And I think the Baltimore Ravens and this Dolphins game is going to be a very close one to the very end. And so I really would feel confident about having Justin Tucker in my lineups, and I definitely think you need to. And honestly, if you got him on your team, you're probably not dropping him either. So go ahead and plug him in. A guy like Justin Tucker is so good. He often doesn't even make these videos because it's kind of common knowledge that you're going to be rolling out Justin Tucker. But for week 2, we'll still let him shine. We'll put him in there. Definitely plug and play here against the Miami Dolphins. Up next, we got Brandon McManus for the Denver Broncos against the Houston Texans. I know that some of you in the catch are owners or are lovers of Brandon McManus. And so shout out to you all. Here he is. He has made the top 5. I think he's going to have a great game against the Houston Texans, who are not as much of a tank me type of team as you would think, man. These guys fight hard. With a new rookie like Derek Stingley, I think the secondary is improved as well, and Davis Mills is always trying to win the ball game. I think the kicker for the Denver Broncos, Brandon McManus, is going to be a solid start, and historically throughout his career, he has been a great deep ball kicker. He has got that altitude behind him in Denver, which actually matters a lot for kickers. It gives a little bit of a ump to the leg, and they can get a little bit more distance on their ball, and now they're getting to play at home. I think it's going to be fantastic for Brandon McManus. I definitely look for him to have a very solid day. Let's get it, and let's get a piece of that let's ride offense. Gonna roll through a couple other options here, guys, and one of them to start off with is Mr. Matt Gay for the Los Angeles Rams going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Look, with how bad the Rams played week 1 and the fact that Matt Gay only got 6 points, even though one was from 50 plus, and that was one of the craziest kicks I've seen from 57. If you've got a chance to get Matt Gay on your team, you need to do it here. And that's what kind of the part of this streaming option is about, is that this guy is going to be one of the best consistent kickers all season long up against teams like the Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers, and the Dallas Cowboys the next 3 weeks as well. Matt Gay got it done all season long last year, and I expect him to do it this year as well. Definitely go ahead and grab him if you can. He's on your waivers. And number 7, I would be reminisce. I think that's the correct form of the word. I'm not exactly sure, but Young Wei Koo, I would be reminisced if I didn't put him in my lineups here this week. And I get it. The matchup is not as great. They're going up against the Rams, but I don't mind it, right? Because he had 4 field goals last week, and 2 from 52 and 1 from the 40 to 49 range. Young Wei Koo looked absolutely dominant. I thought he was going to win the game from them too. He looked absolutely fantastic, as he has all of his career, guys. Going up against the Rams, we already saw it. Tyler Bass is in our top 5. And he played against the Rams and had a pretty good game. I think Younghoe Koo could as well. Marcus Mariota is looking to be a little bit better than what we expected. And Josh Allen showed that the running quarterbacks against that Rams defense can give them trouble. Well, that's exactly what Marcus Mariota is too. So I think they could put them into field goal range a decent amount, right? And Younghoe Koo is really solid at converting field goals at any distance. I love him, and I gotta shout out some credit to my guy here, right here. I can't leave him totally off the list. It's not as fantastic of a matchup as some of the other guys, but I can't leave him off my list after pulling out an 18-point performance. And to that same notion, guys, I just wanted to give out another shout out to a guy like Cade York for the Cleveland Browns, who looked fantastic as well, pulling out 16 fantasy points and hitting a banger from deep against Carolina Panthers. With the Cleveland Browns going up against the Jets, I don't mind him either. And with that said, guys, I hope you appreciated this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, but more importantly, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Come on and join the Catch fam. Let me know in the comments what you thought about all these kickers, and let me know what kickers are on your rosters that you have questions about, or any other position as well. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, or defense. We're going to be dropping videos all week, so keep your eyes out, keep your eyes peeled, and let's get into it. We got another week of football coming our way. And remember, you saw it here first at the Catch.